Hello, everyone.
Welcome.
All right. I am Joey Evans.
I'm Wendy Yi.
I'm Camilla.
And we are doing top 10 convention games.
How convenient, 'cause I feel like this is the start of convention season. Dice Tower West, in my mind, is like start of convention season.
When is the end of convention
So,
season?
The cruise.
It never ends.
Yeah.
It's like
It
the
is
final.
kind of the end, isn't it?
No, it's the official end. I've declared it.
Oh, well, you've heard it here first, so, folks. That's it.
If you want to end your convention season, come on the cruise. You want to begin it, come to West.
Wow, you just kind of
It's
bookended
like a
Thank you.
single month
Yeah.
in between.
I really think there should have been more conversation there, but that's
Nope,
the way it
that's
is.
it. It's official.
All right. Yeah, so convention games.
Yes.
That's the big thing.
Well, first of all, thank you to our sponsors of the
Yes.
show. We're sponsored by Grip Mats and by Board Game Bliss. So Grip Mats, if you are looking for mats for specific games, they also have generic ones.
They do?
They have grip and non-grip. The grip are really nice if you have like tiles that you place down because they don't move. You know, like Spirit Island or something where you want the tiles, you put them out and you want them to stay and
Marvel
not separate.
United. Yeah.
Marvel United, they have a custom Marvel United one. So yeah, Grip Mats are great. And then Board Game Bliss where you can pick up all your games and have them
All
shipped
the fun
to you.
stuff.
You don't even have to leave your house. You can play a game, buy a game, play another game, and then you're ready.
Yeah, buy
Yeah,
the
it's
game,
just-
buy the
Never have to-
mat.
there you go, never
at
have
the
to
same
leave.
time.
You
So-
never have to leave.
Yeah.
It's just, I never like to leave.
Yeah. So anyway, thanks to our
hermits.
sponsors for that.
Yes.
All right.
All right, now.
I'm done interrupting.
Convention games.
Yes.
All right, so this is, I know you were like, where do I go with this?
I was
There are
like,
different
well,
directions
yes.
to go.
there was like 5 different ways I could have done it, and I had to like separate them all out and just pick one. You know, because
Right.
a lot of times when I go to conventions, I want to try the new games that I've missed because I just didn't have a chance to play in the office. It's just the kind of a game that I might want to buy, but I want to try it first because I'm on the fence. But I had to take that out of it. Because it's like that.
Really?
That's why I go to a convention is to try games before I buy. And it's like, no, I can't think like that because this would just be top 10 games I want to play.
And that's true, too, because some conventions have good copies of, like Dice Tower has upgraded copies of certain games. You're like, I want to try those.
And I did include
Yeah.
those.
You did?
Yes.
Okay, the
Okay.
upgraded ones.
For me, I felt like there were so many categories that I wanted to throw in. And so there's a couple parts on my list where I have a game that represents a category of games.
Yes, very much.
Because I couldn't just be like you mentioned, the whole thing
Yeah.
is just one category.
In fact, I started
Right.
it that way, and it was that way completely. I redid the list because it was like the game that I want to play but haven't yet. And this is my stand-in for that type of game as category. And then it just became, again, just... I really tried to like really narrow it down specifically.
Yeah.
So for me, what I kind of settled on are what are 10 games that I prefer to play at conventions. I go to conventions excited to these. I think there's something about it is suited for the convention specifically.
Yeah.
And when I say conventions, I also specifically was thinking about game playing conventions, not purchasing conventions. So I consider like Gen Con is a try a game before you
Right.
buy it, see what's coming out. Also a buying con, whereas anything like Board Game Geek, the Dice Tower cons, those are playing cons. You go to play games. And so for me, these games are suited for that environment, something about them.
And this one I shifted my list more than I do in most lists because I would see I have too many of a certain category of games. You know, certain
Oh,
situations
okay.
at cons will hit different styles of games, I think. You know, so I try to run the gamut on these.
Yeah.
I definitely leaned a little bit more into one category. I
you?
allowed myself to have a few more in there, but I did also try to have a little diversity.
Okay.
So we'll see how it goes.
All right, well, let us get started with number 10. Okay, so I am. Oh, look at that cute little meatball. I have a hat on. All right.
So
Oh,
dapper.
I wish it looked like you.
Fancy. What?
Oh,
Look like
you
me?
caught that? I didn't know you were listening. Sorry.
Hateful. All right. So this one at cons, the big thing is getting. I don't think I have any 2-player games. So getting a lot of
Oh.
people at.
Yeah,
at a
because our
con to play.
conventions, we don't want 2-player
Nor
games.
do
Right, exactly.
I.
You know, that's been
Right.
drilled into my head.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so this one plays 6. This is a lighter game you can teach pretty quick. This one surprised me. I think I only play this at cons, and it also scales to a lot of people. But this is a Super Mega Lucky Box.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
It's
All right.
funny, I
All right.
would not have put this on my list until I look back, and I've played this pretty much at most cons.
Oh, that's interesting. Did you go back and look at your playlist at
I
cons?
did, and
Good
I'm
for
like,
you, Joey.
I know.
That's some next level work.
It is. Thank you, BG Stats.
Whoa.
it impresses me. So I went back and I'm playing this a lot. My wife liked to say, hey, you don't play this, or you have a short amount of time before any type of break, a show or whatever. This is one that comes out. It's pretty much, if you haven't played it, it's like bingo, right?
Yes. Yeah.
You're pretty much flipped. It does not sound fun, but you have different abilities on there. Like you can scale the numbers up or down, plus or minus one, and you're trying to complete cards and get points on that. Mm-hmm. And again, if you have, like, we actually have 2 copies at our house for larger game nights where you can play a lot of people around. It really does feel like bingo, which honestly does not sell this game. I do enjoy the feel of this game when it comes forward. This is one that surprised me because of how many it does play and how quick it hits the table and goes up.
It also kind of feels like the big brother, big sister to Silver and Gold or something like that.
It does.
How you have the cards that you're marking off on. When you finish your cards, you get another one to start working on. A little more combo-y. Yeah. A little
That's
bit grown
funny
up.
because I feel like this feels younger. Not younger, but like simpler to me.
Then bingo?
No, than Silver and Gold.
Oh.
Yeah.
For me, because I'm like, oh, that's a poly. I have to like fit stuff places. This, I'm just like, number done. It's gone.
Oh,
Like,
interesting.
I finished that row.
This one has some neat ebbs and flows where you're like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and risk that here, put it here. Like, I wish I would have switched it out. But I really enjoy this game. So
This game is super tempting for take backs. Be like, oh, hold on, wait, I didn't think of that. Yeah.
Or you've done it.
No, I don't.
Me either.
Get caught.
Right.
I have not. Anyway, yes, this is Super Mega Lucky Box. If you haven't, it's a great con game. It hits the table quick as far as setup and teardown, which is big. I hate when people say this is a 20-minute game. They're 30 minutes of setup.
Yeah.
So this
and
is
you
quick.
really, I mean, what does this go to? Does it go to like 10 or something?
Yeah, with the base.
That's
So
big. Yeah, that's a big group.
It's a lot.
Okay, my number 10 is Captain Sonar. This is another game that you can have a lot of people in. And I think that for me is, you'll see that in quite a few of my games, is being able to pull together a big group of people. Because if I'm having just a game night, I'm usually playing with 3 or 4 people. But if I'm coming to a convention, I want a big group. I want to be able to pull in people. And it's easier to pull in people because sometimes at home, you're like, I can't get 8 people to sit down and play a game.
Right.
And I can't fit 8 people at my table. No. So
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But this is the very first game I thought of when this list was presented to me. I was like, oh, Captain Sonar, that's going to be on there. So in this game, what you're doing is you have 2 different sides of the table. You have 2 teams of 4, and you're basically playing like advanced radar battleship, real time against each other. And so you've got the navigator who's, got their specific role. You got the person who's like writing on the paper. You got another, you're like, everyone has different jobs and they all have to work together real time against the other team. And so it's chaotic as all get out, but it's a fun and it's a fabulous con game.
This was like an insta shoe-in for me on this list that I didn't include. It's
Really?
like the first one I thought of. It's the first one. It's a must-have. It's got to be on the list. And I'm so glad it's on yours because I haven't played it, and that's why I haven't put it on.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
one of those,
played
like it's what's a convention game? Captain Sonar. But I can't use it because I haven't played it. But it's like, but yes, that is the definition of a convention game.
Yeah.
And I like too now that a lot of conventions you can schedule games, so it has to have 8, and so you'd be like, I'm playing this game at this time tomorrow, boom, and people are signing up, so it's not sitting there with the flag like, please, we need one more. Anybody, come on,
Yeah.
So it's really nice.
Yeah, and you can make this work at 6. But yeah, 8 is just
But don't.
ideal.
Why,
Yeah,
if you're at a
just why
convention
don't?
with
Yeah.
2,000 other people?
Include everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Captain Sonar.
My number 10 is one that I know was hot for a hot minute and then kind of seemed to disappear, but I still love it, and I think the convention is the perfect place to play it. This is going to be the Reckoners. It is dice chucking fun. I think that, again, you can play with a larger group. You can play up to 6 with it, and it's just because of the simultaneous play. It is going to be a cooperative game. It's going to be simultaneous play, so it doesn't really feel like it bogs down. It has what I love in games with those 2 phases, I guess. There's 2 halves to the game. And so at first, you're out there and you're trying to research down so you can actually attack the bad guy, kind of like Cthulhu Death May Die. So then something happens and you're able to start attacking him. Then you're just like walloping on him. Your individual characters grow into like some little asymmetry as you're getting different weapons and that kind of stuff. And so I think that it really just feels powerful. And again, it's dice chucking fun. It's kind of it was hot for a hot minute and then went away. And so I think a convention is a perfect place to play it because you can probably find other people who have played it, and they're going to have that little bit of, I haven't played this in a while. Oh my gosh, I love this game. You can find other people that really like it. So I really enjoy this.
Does this work well when you have like 1 or 2 people
Yes.
that don't know how to play it because it's cooperative?
It does, yeah, because it's very symbol heavy and like iconography and like what goes to what. Like this die face goes to this track, this die face goes to that track, and it's got a Yahtzee mechanism, so you can re-roll into it. Yeah. And so if there's people that don't know how to play, it's fine because it is all cooperative. And you can talk beforehand on, okay, I want you to try to go for this symbol, you try to go for that symbol, you to this, and that's usually enough to kind of kickstart the gameplay.
It's weird. I want to try this, but it's like I've bounced off of most of the games based on recent books. Like Red Rising, I love the book series. The game was just like, and that pushed me off of Reckoners.
Got it.
Which I know is totally different.
Do you want to play it at West?
Should
we schedule it?
Let's schedule it at West. I will play it at West.
All right, you heard
it. Do you need 4 other people?
Yes, we do.
No, this is one that I think scales really well too at player count. So it's not like Captain Sonar where you have to have a specific amount either. So,
right.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's my number 10 is The Reckoners.
Okay, my number 9. This one, all right. This is one I have played at pretty much most cons, but I have not done the play that I want to do of this. I have got a goal, and every time I come prepared to do my goal at a con, and I have not done it. But this is
what does this mean?
This is a game that right here. When I added it, Chris was like, ugh.
Oh, is this the one?
This is the one.
He gave you so much crap. Is this the one you switched out yesterday afternoon and he gave you so much crap?
And he's like, why would you add? He goes, all right, it's fine. I'm like,
I love how he gave you permission. It's fine.
I don't know
I'll
what
allow
this is.
So
what
this
is
one
it?
is Twilight Inscription. Twilight Inscription right here.
Okay.
I like this game a lot.
Don't you have to have orange markers for this?
You do. It does come with, and they don't actually run out as much as like normal markers do, by the way.
Orange specifically?
Because I feel like at a convention library, like that's, from my end, I'm like, how do you find more orange markers?
The library portion of it. But this, the scary part is you have 4 different boards that you are running Twilight Imperium in 2 hours. And the whole thing is the battle mechanic takes place with people to your right and left. So you're going to battle them. So you go around the table and everyone's there. Number one, a convention is where you can find this many gamers, right?
Yeah.
But then they released and this is the one I want to play, that plays from 9 to 24.
Oh my gosh, what?
So,
you want
and
this?
I have bought more Twilight Inscriptions just to eventually, I want to play with everybody.
How many are you taking to West?
Oh, I want to take them all. Because it does not slow the game down at all because everyone plays simultaneously and you are going through it. And so it's still a 2-hour game, but everyone is playing. And that right there, I mean, it just sounds
okay.
You know what you should do?
so good.
Is the next time that you're going to do a magic show, tell people it's a magic show and then turn it into your 50-player version of Twilight
That's
Imperium.
about how many people show up for my shows. 24 people.
Oh, stop being humble. You packed that room.
No, my wife Alex, she does love this game, and I will look over and she will be teaching it. I'm like, this is one that I hate to teach, but it makes sense because you have 4 boards, but you're focusing on one at a time. That helps, because you're not like spreading around like Hadrian's Wall or whatever. But this game, I know a lot of people that love Twilight Imperium bounced off of this one, but I do like this.
Do you feel like it feels like TI?
It's got the feel, but not. Of course, you won't have that epic feel because TI is like 9 hours. You still have the diplomacy, you have the battling, you have everything.
So kind of like what we were talking about with dual games this morning. This is obviously opposite. It went big,
right.
But like kind of that where it should like feel and kind of pay homage, where you're like, ooh, I have the feelings of the original, but it is better suited for its own design scope.
Well, like TI I played once, and I might play it a couple more times in my life. That's about it. This one will hit the table more. So
interesting.
I do like this one a lot.
Okay.
Spoilers: TI is not on Joey's list for today.
Oh no, good point.
It would be on somebody's.
It would be a good con.
Yeah.
You see it playing a lot of cons.
You really do.
But anyway, I haven't played it at cons. So anyway, that's a Twilight Inscription. I think I'm the only one at this table that likes it.
I've not played it.
I've not played it.
Count.
Yes.
So you are the only one that likes it. Well guessed.
I wonder if both of you would like it.
Did you like this more than Hadrian's Wall?
Do you use all the rules in this one?
No, I do. I do. I probably like Hadrian's Wall more than this.
Is this more complicated than the Anarchy is going to be?
No. Hadrian's Wall is harder than this one is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's more complicated.
I really should play this.
You should.
I'm just angry about orange markers. Okay. My number 9 is Tumbling Dice. So this kind of fits the category of all dexterity / funky games that because like at our conventions, we just have a big area where we lay out a bunch of unique games. This one's actually in the library though, like you have to pull it off a shelf. But I love Tumbling Dice, and I always have. So you're rolling down dice. And everyone's taking turns rolling their dice, and depending on where they land, you'll multiply it at the end, but you can also knock each other's dice off the board, and it's great. So at our conventions, it's fun to you get like, I don't know, 15, 20 people, and we're all walking in a circle around a table, all like chucking dice at this little dice board. And Tom has upgraded his so that it has D&D dice.
Yeah.
So it's not just like 6 sides multiple times, but instead you have the whole gambit of different sides of dice. And then someone has to do all the math at the end, and that is not me. I'm not going to do that math, but someone else will. And it's just fun. I enjoy that way that you can just pull in a huge group of people, and some people just walk up and are like, what is going on? Like, why are people walking in a circle around a table?
Looks like a cult.
It really does.
Yeah.
It really does.
It's a summoning.
Yeah. But I love to see this happen at conventions. I love to be a part of it at conventions. It just makes me happy. Tumbling dice all around.
Nice.
Yeah.
You see this played a lot, by the way. I look over and I don't think I've ever played it. I played through a turn or two, but I've never played it.
Yeah.
I see it played a lot.
It's just fun. It's
Yeah.
just, yeah.
Yeah, it's similar to that pinball game that came out recently.
Oh, the box makes the
Yeah, the
tears.
haunted house pinball or whatever.
Yeah.
I like that
I
when
didn't
people
play
like,
that one,
well,
but-
you would love tumbling dice then. So I got to play it.
Yeah.
You should. Just get, your cult of people around. You're always the cultist anyways in games.
I am. That's sad.
Speaking of cultist, my number 9 has
no.
nothing to do with it.
Good.
I was going to guess.
Number 9 is just a big thematic experience that I think is served well and actually almost necessary to have people that know the game, but it also serves well for new players coming into it because it's going to be a one versus many, and it's going to be a thematic just table presence. You walk by, well, you don't walk by this game. You walk by the table and you stop and look.
Is this Death May Die?
It is not. It's Terror Escape.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
I think that not the castle, the house in the middle, which is going to block the view of the two sides, is just so eye-catching. I think it works well, and it, like I said, you have to have somebody that knows how to play because it's one versus many, and you want one on both sides that knows how to play. But you can have brand new players first time playing on the many side, who's trying to escape, because the one who knows it is going to be able to say, hey, the one he's playing this character, he's going to have this attack cards, this is the flow, this is why timing, it's not good to do that just yet. So they're going to be able to help balance the two sides of the knowledge, because if you only have one person that knows how to play and they're playing on the one side, they're going to decimate you. You know what I mean? Just completely wipe the board. But if you have that one on both sides, it brings a neat balance, and it just becomes a really thematic, neat experience of kind of that hidden movement that you like, the deduction, and it's so tense. It's so great. I really think that this is a stopper of a game. You don't walk by this table. You stop, you look.
Yeah.
And I really think this one you could probably just leave set up the whole con and it would just rotate through people.
I do wish that we had, I wish for our library we had that giant, permanent house that you can stick out like that. That looks amazing.
It really does.
good.
Yeah. If only someone had a printer, and was constantly bragging about it, but
That
also
could do
never
colors.
finished anything.
Ooh.
Yeah, that'd be neat. Also,
Someday.
maybe had a painter, in the family. Gosh, who could do that?
Yeah.
Do we
No
have
one here.
Do we have anyone that useful?
With an airbrush, they can do shadowing on the edges. Oh, yeah.
I don't know if he has an airbrush.
This one.
Yeah. An airbrush.
You don't talk about it enough.
I don't.
I mean, he doesn't use the airbrush.
No, not me.
Clearly, the painter in the family does.
This is good. If I would have thought, I would have put it on the list because I played this every time I played this. It was at a con, except for the initial.
Okay,
times.
the initial play.
Now I'm
Yeah.
like, this is a good con game.
Well, and I think, speaking to it being a con game, Sans here in the comments says the game escaped from stores and is hard to find. Now, there is a reprint coming, but that being said, that's another reason to play it at a con. If you can't
Right,
get it, come to a
right.
con where you can play it.
Right.
It's like just attend cons where you have access to these hard to find, hard to reach games.
Yeah,
So it is
exactly.
getting a reprint. It's coming. Don't spend $800 on
You-
eBay. But yeah.
Do you remember the player count for this? Is it 4? Is it 5?
It's 4, I believe.
4?
It might go
Is
to
it?
5, actually. Now
I
you
thought
say
it was
it.
5, but I
I
can't
don't know.
remember.
Yeah, it might be 5. I don't
Yeah.
know. I think I've only ever played it at 4. So,
So good.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a good pick.
Oh, that's my number 9.
Okay, for my list, I needed some card games because those are again ones that.
Did you?
Really, you have no card games?
I have
Oh, I do have a card game.
I have a game that has cards. I don't consider
Is it
it
a
really
card
a card
game?
game.
Wow.
though.
I have a
So-
card game. but it also has a board.
Okay, it's not.
It's a play. It has a player board.
Well, this has a board, sort of.
Okay, so
It's,
okay.
Speaking
Either
to
way,
me,
okay,
very small
okay.
board. But okay, card games are easy to come out if like you have a short amount of time, and this one I think it has more depth than most card games. It does have a board.
Okay. This is hard to narrow down all card games to your one convention card game.
Yeah, well,
This better be good.
This is Force Shuffle. Force Shuffle.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I considered it. Yeah.
For me,
Okay.
I mean, it's one of those. I had several card games. I thought, okay, I would play this,
I
but
don't
this is the
consider
one
this
I
a card
gravitated
game.
to.
Like it has
Oh.
cards, but I
Really,
don't.
because
I
the
don't-
board?
That's strange.
It's weird. Yeah, my brain just doesn't think card game.
I think it's
I think
because
there's more to it.
I think because you're building a tableau, maybe,
Yeah.
and so you see it more.
A tableau
like
of
that.
what?
Yeah.
Cards.
Yeah, you do in Seven Wonders too, but I still don't think that's a card game either.
Yeah. Anyway, so this, I mean, this is just, I played it for the first time at West for one of those that they can like play a game with a dice tower person and you pick this one. I'm like, this is great. I mean, it's just so cute to hide those animals on each side.
It's very well
And,
done, yeah.
Yeah.
It's one I considered for this list, but ultimately I took it off. It didn't slip off the list. I took it off because I don't prefer to play it at a con outside of at home. I think I actually prefer to play it at home. It's a very calming, like weeknight kind of game, you know, for me.
Right.
But, you know, if you think
For me, it's one of those
otherwise,
games
I
that
mean, if you're
I'll
wrong.
ask, like, if I find out someone has not played this, I will introduce them to this because if I feel like they will like it. I think it's really one of those that I'm like, oh, you haven't played Force Shuffle? Let's give it a try. It's easy to teach. It hits the table quickly. And it's such a fun, light game to bring out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really do enjoy this.
Oh.
So Force Shuffle, again, played every con. That's for
Out
me.
of all the card games in the world, this is what Joey picks.
I know. I think that might be. I don't know if it's my only card game or not.
I have a better one. Don't worry.
No, you don't.
I do.
I know.
I do. You know because it's higher on the list.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Oh, man, it's my only card game.
You suck.
It bumped off archaeology for me, but this is good.
Okay.
Force Shuffle.
All right. Well, my number 8 does include cards, but it's not a card game. So this is I'm just going to say it's Decrypto. So Decrypto is...
Decrypto.
Yes, Decrypto.
You're
I
so
got it.
smart.
I got
You
it.
got
smart.
it. Yeah,
I
you
got
can
it.
read. So in Decrypto, you have 2 teams, and this is once again, this plays to like 8 people, 6 to 8. So you need to be able to get a big group to sit down and play. But into crypto, you have 2 different teams, and you have someone on your team each round that's trying to give a clue to the rest of their team so that they can guess the sequence of numbers correctly. And so when you give those clues for these words, you're trying to make them obscure enough so that the other team can't guess those words. So you need to get your people to guess it correctly, but not have other people figure it out. And it's one of those that as you play round after round after round, it gets harder and harder to come up with words to describe these numbers without just like straight up giving away what you're trying to tell. I really enjoy this one. And in fact, the very first time I played this, I played it with Z actually at Dice Tower West, before it was Dice Tower West. He introduced it to me and Chris. But yeah, this is one that I really enjoy, and it's hard to get that group together. And I feel like it's a lot to teach because conceptually, it is just really hard to be like, no, that's too obvious of a clue. Like you need to take like 3 steps back, like 3 steps away from that clue. And so playing this at a convention, especially if people already know it, and then getting that big group together, it's so good.
Yeah. I think for that style of game, I think somebody said, Bruce said it in the comments, Phantom Inc. I think for that style of game, Phantom Inc. replaces it because of what you just said, just that teach overhead. It's tricky to wrap your mind around the first time you play.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I haven't tried Phantom Inc.
Yeah,
You
I think
would like
it's-
it a lot.
I think
imagine
it's
I
a much
would.
smoother experience, especially
Yeah.
first couple plays.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's still good. So awesome. My number 8 is a game that I think is absolutely worth the effort of learning the rules, but it's one that I ultimately has left my collection, and I'm so glad to be able to go to conventions to play it, and also hopefully play with other people who have played it more recently and can help me learn the rules
Give me
again.
some hints.
Chip theory, cooperative. I really can't be more scripted than that than just
really?
say burn cycle. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Burn cycle.
yeah,
really?
Burn Cycle. I loved this game, but ultimately I just couldn't justify having it in my own collection.
It's
you
now
know,
my
it's a
collection.
it
Big
is
box.
Your copies of my collection.
Oh.
And I too have not played it.
right. It's just because it's just one, kind of the rules overhead.
Yeah.
2, just getting it to the table. It's a bigger box of a game, and
Yeah.
very limited real estate in my game collection. I keep a pretty lean collection as well, and so ultimately I was really sad. It was a very hard decision to let it go, but part of the decision was I know it's in the libraries of conventions I go to, and I want to play it there, and I can play it with people that know the game. It's worth it. I have time that I can sit down, for 4 hours and 2 hours, kind of decipher the rules again, then play again, or play with somebody, and they can kind of take that, if they played it recently, can help with that. So it's a game very, very much worth being in my collection that I just can't justify having in my collection. So I'm so glad I can go to a collection. I keep saying collection and convention. I don't have it in my collection, so I can go to a convention and play it, and I don't have to worry about time. I don't have to worry about, is it worth wasting a whole day learning the rules? Is it worth the whole game day? I don't want to spend a whole Saturday on this. I want to spend half a Saturday on this. Well, I can do that at a convention because you have that luxury of time as well.
Time and more likely to have people that know how to play it.
Right, exactly. And I think it does better with more players because you get to see really the strategy of the movement, and you really get into what I think really shines in this game is as you're trying to distract the the guards that are going around. You're like, oh, I'll make some noise over here to distract them so they turn around so you can slip in through the back. And, and so it really gets the puzzly goodness of this game comes out with more players. So I think it's perfect for a convention. And that is why Burn Cycle is my number 8.
Yay. Try that. All right. My number 7 is probably, I had to put, otherwise, party games get played for me a lot at cons, especially if you guys, end of the night, as you don't want to focus, you turn to a party game. So this is the one, man, there was a lot of party games I had that could have been
This is your
on my
one
list.
party game?
Yeah, I had to put one party game, and this was the one I switched them in and out, and I finally settled on one.
Can I guess it?
I only have one as well.
Is it just one?
No,
thank goodness.
That's on your list. I knew that was on your list.
Definitely.
But no, that was one that but I moved it off.
Okay. Is it So Clover?
No, again.
Oh,
see,
okay.
somebody get
Party
it.
game.
It also has some green in it, though.
Oh.
Green team wins.
Green team wins.
Oh.
Green team
really?
wins. Yeah, this one is one that we can play at the Bash and things, and this one we do have 2 or 3 copies of because you can play a lot of people with this.
And the Dice Tower promo is an entire deck of cards for this.
Which is crazy.
Shout out, come to Dice Tower West and pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this game right here is just fantastic, and it's a great icebreaker. You pull people in from different games that have just finished, and it's like they jump in. Scoring is secondary on this, whatever.
Okay.
But it's like, oh, you just finished? Come on in, jump in and grab a pad here, and
it's
go
that
at it.
big sigh of relief.
is.
I just needed to escape the convention for a minute, but still play a game.
Exactly.
I needed to reset.
It's like I want to be social,
Yeah.
but I don't. But I still want to play a game.
Yeah.
Right, and then this also gets to people that are not really by nature social, after they then say that, oh, for me the flavor green is whatever.
Sour apple.
Sour apple is like, no, it's not. People
lime.
start to talk back and forth. This is a great game for that. And I think at cons you really get those people that don't, know each other and jump in front of the tables. This one for me is probably one of my go-to games that I do end up playing at cons. The other ones I do see in there, just one, oh, that's So Clover. But this right here, I like it. Again, I like new cards. You mentioned the promos.
Yeah.
Because it's all about the cards.
Yeah.
Because I hate to see a card I've seen before. I'm like, okay, I don't want to do that. Keep jumping through. Because this one, I want more content.
You've played enough of it that you need that more content.
Right,
You feel
exactly.
like if they start describing, you're like, oh, I know which card I know what card that is. Not I know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Yeah.
This is one. All I want is expansion, just more cards. Give me more questions. It's not that hard.
Well, we can make that happen. We
Yes.
got a couple in the shed.
There we go. That's all I want. So this is
Reach in
great.
the
You
shed
should just
later.
start handwriting on all these.
I will
stickers.
say it's so funny. People sometimes do not get this. They feel like they should answer what they think. You read the room.
You're supposed to.
You
You're
have
supposed
to.
But
read
then
the
you
room.
have the meta thinking where then everyone's trying to read the room and then everyone reads the room wrong.
Right,
And it's
yeah.
all different anyways.
Yeah. So that's anyway. It has
Yeah.
more depth than I thought.
This
but
one I
anyway.
want theme packs. I want the Halloween green teams wins and the
There's a
Christmas
Christmas
green teams
one.
wins. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a
yeah.
Christmas one.
That'd be good.
I want all the theme, all the
agree.
holidays.
Yes.
Yeah.
That'd be
There's a
fun. That'd be
Dice
fun to
Tower
cycle
themed
out.
one.
What? Where can you get that, Joey?
I don't know.
Really? Do you not know?
No, I have no idea.
Okay.
I just work here. Anyway, my number 7 is Green Team Wins.
All right. My number 7 is one of those raucous games where
Good word.
you get
Raucous.
raucous, where you can have a big group of people playing, and everyone is just kind of like going at the game. So this is Ready, Set, Bet.
Oh.
This is such a great one. So you have one person who is rolling dice, and they're basically running the horse races. and they're just like spouting off numbers and they're going. And everyone else, real time, as this is all happening, are placing down their bets on this big board. And what I really appreciate about this is, one, you can have a big group and everyone's kind of chaotic and it's fun. But the other thing I appreciate is that this game kind of scales up from round to round. So I think you play 3 rounds of it. But I like to start it with no player powers if everybody's new, and then you slowly add in those powers, and then you add a second power. And so just like it progresses as it goes, which I appreciate.
This game is a huge miss for me. This is just like flat out.
That's so
no, thank
sad.
you.
You're just wrong.
Have you played it?
No, I just don't. I have played it. I have played it, and it's just a huge miss. I don't like the real time. I love real time, but the real time, like someone beat you to that bet, is like rage inducing, like
weird, 'cause you
0
love
to
Project
75. But I think it's maybe the common goal of it.
Yeah,
but
that's
like if somebody
cooperative.
just happens to sit closer to the goal, so therefore, or the thing that you're bidding on, so therefore they happen to get their chip in there, that chip is ending up somewhere not on that spot. I'm like 0 to 900
Now,
on
if
the
you were
angry
like
scale.
shooting the horses, would you like it more?
No, what?
I don't know.
What
Your
is your
Project Elite is
problem?
like, I don't know. You're very just like,
You
go,
are
go, go.
mean.
What if they were monsters racing?
No,
And
it's not.
then you
No,
shut-
it's not. This is one that's not the theme that gets. It's like the actual mechanisms of it, and it's like
Wow,
the
really?
things
Okay.
you're bidding on are just so much to think about when everything's going, and it's the variables of this game are changing too quickly. I think also for me to process. I'm a
That
slow
makes sense,
thinker.
I
I'm a
guess,
deep.
yeah.
I'm a deep thinker. And so. Yeah, this one is one that misses for me, but same kind of thing as I said with Captain Sonar. Instantly, this is one I thought of. I was like, this is a perfect convention game.
Yeah.
But I can't justify it on my list because I don't like it.
You're like, no,
Right.
that's
so it's
100%
like, so I'm so
fair.
glad it's out there and represented because it's
Yeah.
not my game.
I prefer this when everyone is standing up at the table. Like, I
Oh,
think
you
it's
have to
more
stand up,
fun
yeah.
when you have that energy of everybody just standing and throwing down those bets. But I do agree that there's a lot on the board. And so if you're sitting over by the prop bets, is that what those are called? Like if you're sitting over on one side, you're more likely to see these bets. If you're sitting over the other side, you're more likely to see kind of the weird
You're also
scoring.
more likely to get to them quicker
Yes, that too.
and get stabbed.
But I'm one of those people that I stress in games where you have to like potentially lose stuff. Like if I'm betting and then I potentially lose stuff. And this has very, very mild negatives. It's not like you lose your whole bet if you're wrong.
Yeah.
You just might lose $1 or $2. Like it's not a big deal.
Or a couple fingers.
Well, I'm not playing with you. Done.
Joke's on you, I'm not
Ever.
playing.
So yeah, so that's where I said bet. Love the energy behind it.
Excellent. My number 7 is a game that I instantly thought, it was quick to make it on the list. And once I assigned it a number, it didn't really move, and it's lower on the list because I think it's a great convention game because you can get the full player count. That being said, I think it plays fantastic at lower player counts, but it's a convention game because I want to go and I want to play with the full 6 players, and this is Heat Pedal to the Metal.
Oh.
I think the AI in this, when you have less players, is really well done, so I can play it at home and have a good experience. But there is something about playing with the full 6 players there and knowing they're thinking and working independently and processing through it. It just feels more tense as you're trying to accommodate for what they might do.
I agree.
So again, the AI players keep up well and seem to be very well balanced, and we all end right there together. So they're very well balanced, but there's something of the tension of those real people that might make dumb moves or better moves, or that it's just great, and it's hard to be able to get this at the full player count. But at a convention, when you can sit down with 6 players who know how to play and are right there tooth and nail, I think it's fantastic.
Does this, I mean, I obviously don't know what's on the rest of your list, but does this hit this list other than other racing games because of the higher player count?
This is the only
Or is
racing
it
game on
just-
my list.
Okay, it is the only racing. Okay.
Yeah,
But is it because of player count that this came on your list instead of
Yes.
some of the other ones?
This is also my favorite. I assume you're thinking like Thunder Road Vendetta
And Joyride,
and
and yeah,
Joyride.
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So Joyride and Heat are my 2 favorites. Thunder Road Vendetta is a far third on the
Okay.
3. And I think, but Joyride, I can play at 4 players and be very happy. I'm very happy with all player counts where it sits.
Yeah.
If I'm going to do a 6 player, I don't want 4 of those to be AI. Kind of. So I
makes
think
sense. Yeah,
that
so.
makes
So
sense.
it does really come down to the player
Yeah, the
count.
player count is like-
Experience of the player
Yeah.
count.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is my number
That's cool.
7 is Heat Pedal to the Metal.
All right. Okay, so this one right here is actually
Right where?
going to be my number 6 surprised me, and I look back at my plays at cons. This surprised me. I've played it at pretty much every con, including the cruise.
I'm just so impressed you
Wow.
did this much homework.
I did.
I didn't realize you kept track of your game so closely.
I did. Yeah, BG stats.
Keeps them up
just
at night.
I love
changed my
BG
life.
stats.
It's so good.
It's well worth the 99 cents.
One time, too.
I know. It's not even a
crazy.
subscription.
I think
Raise
I
that
got it
price.
for free.
Just kidding,
Oh, did you? I don't know.
Oh.
Well, I think the part that I paid
Oh,
for
I don't
anyway.
use the extras. Yeah.
Oh, we use the extras.
I'm basic.
It was worth 99
This
cents.
one right here is actually, surprisingly, this is a print and play.
You printed and played it and took it to
Here's
a con?
the thing. Someone else played it at a con. Bonnie came by, and all of a sudden we were all playing. Actually, Tom's wife, Laura, was in this play. I look over and like, what are they playing? They played it 2 or 3 times, and I'm like, my wife's like, I love this game. So
Has it been printed also?
Yes. No, I don't think so. It's by Rolling Rhino Games. It is called Chateau. It is a
I
polyomino
don't know this
roll and
one.
write. And the whole
I've
thing
not
is
even heard of this.
everybody has to put down a polyomino. It has a silver and gold feel. You mentioned silver and gold before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're going to place down your polyomino shape, and you're going to try to fill up your chateau and getting like, this is one chateau. And everyone has a different chateau that's based on a real life chateau, and you're all trying to fill it up first. You get different abilities by covering these. And what's nice is it's one of those print and plays that it's constantly having new things added to it. So if you play
So,
like
like, new
15
boards or
new
whatever.
boards,
Yeah.
you just print a board and laminate it. My wife laminated all those, and so you will have like 20 different chateaus, and you can play up to that many people. And of course, you are going to work with the person next to you by passing it back and forth. They get to put a random shape on there or whatever, and it plays really good.
Wait, you're working with them or
No,
they're
working against them.
sabotaging?
You're
So-
sabotaging. So you're.
Oh, I might be
You're
out.
just, but it's one of those polyominoes that plays a big group of people, and people haven't played it before. So I think that's one of
This
those
is intriguing.
that it's like, okay. And I see a lot of people saying, all right, I'd like to get this because it's one that you can get and then print at home. It's a really surprisingly
Does
good
it
game.
play
like
well? Does it play the same at like 2 or 3 as it does
Yes.
at 6 or 7?
Which is surprising, but it does. So we play this
Okay.
at home. We also play it at cons, and we'll just bring our whole pack with us and
But
just
it's
play it.
more interactive than like Welcome to or some of
It
the other
is.
ones.
Yeah, Welcome
Okay.
to is on my short list too because that is one that plays with a lot of people.
It does.
But this one I think is more interactive because you are kind of working with people next to you, and there's a bit of take that, but not game changing.
And it does
Okay.
look very silver and goldish, which
It
is
does.
really intriguing.
It is, and it's a bigger board than silver and gold, which I like.
Yeah,
You
right.
know, and a lot of those little icons that you get different abilities. I think you would.
Let's
definitely
play
like
this.
it.
Is this like
What
a
are you
big
doing Friday at Dice Tower West?
We're playing Chateau.
Woo!
Is this like a big brother or a little brother to Silver and
It's a
Gold?
big sister.
Big brother, big sister. There we go.
There we go.
It is much bigger. But anyway, that's one to take a look at. Again, you get it. It's like, I think it's like $5-10, but yeah, play it right away.
There you
Chateau.
go. All right, my number 6 just got a reprint actually. I haven't played the new version yet,
Camp Grizzly.
but I love it. It's not Camp Grizzly, sadly.
So sad.
Next year. But it is Ethnos. So,
Oh.
have you played this?
I have both.
have.
Which one?
You really like it, don't you?
Did you like the new
it?
First
version?
one. I did not.
Okay. Well, I love the old version.
Yes.
I assume the new version will be fine. It still got played a
is
ton
not.
at the Dice Art Cruise. Oh, okay. Well, is it because the icons, or is it because the black is purple and the purple is black?
Because of so much.
It's like all the above
it's
times
like-
2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's still the same game.
Because you gave this like a 4, didn't you?
I think it was pretty low. Yeah, it was. I love Ethnos.
Was Joey angry in the review?
I was.
Does Joey ever get angry?
I was
He does not on camera though. That's the thing. We get
Yeah.
we get
I hate
angry,
it.
Joey.
Do not. I would. The coloring on the second edition isn't as good as I wanted.
Okay.
To.
Yeah.
Some questionable.
Well, the actual
things.
game, whether it's the new edition or the old edition, the core
good
of the
one.
game is the same. And I love Ethnos at a convention because you can play with like 6 or 7 people, and the turns are
good.
super snappy. You're either drawing a card or you're playing a band of cards from your hand and then laying the rest of your cards down. Like, it's just, they're quick turns. It's area majority, but it's an area majority that I really enjoy because you can't just go in an area. Like, you have to collect enough cards to get into that area to grow your little stack of little discs higher. And so I love it. You can also go heavy, like large groups of cards. So if you're going for large groups of cards, you're going to get more points, but you only get one little area majority spot. So, there's so much good about Ethnos. And it's
love
one that
this
I've played
game.
at so many different conventions. It's so quick to teach. and it's just a great group. Like, people are invested in the area control and stuff that's going on.
It's just so fun. All like I'm talking about the original like races and stuff. Just the way skeletons are going to disintegrate afterwards. Halflings need more of them.
That was another thing that I heard about the new version, is that the races didn't make as much sense, whereas they like really were tied in thematically in the original.
They did some anthropomorphic animals or whatever, and originally all of it made sense. Wizards made sense. Halflings made sense. Skeleton. Now it's just like, well, this dog, they like to be with other dogs.
Yeah.
Or they run away at the end. It's like, what?
Yes, it's harder to teach.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, I agree, because it's so fun. And it's so visual. Yeah, this is a good one. I did not think of this.
Yeah. Well, we'll give the new copy a couple years, and people will eventually wrap their
They
brains
might
around
actually.
it. And it'll work
It
out.
plays with 7 or
I think it's six or
6 or
seven.
7.
Yeah,
it's nice.
it's a good sized group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agree.
So that's Ethnos.
My number 6 is my late night fun game, or just coming back like you're jazzed. You're at the convention, you're so excited to be there, and you're just jazzed, and it does a really good job of being silly and like kind of just big fun, but also like feeling like you're being strategic, and kind of like helps you focus back in. Also, this is Flip Ships. It is so tense.
I haven't played this yet.
Flipping these discs to hit these. So you're like, you have these ships and they have different powers. And so you want this ship to take out this ship over here specifically because it's going to blow up and do this. And you get down, you dexterity, and you flick it because it's a dexterity flicking game. And next thing you know, the disc is 2 tables over. You're like, oh, my bad. It's cooperative, and so it's so much fun. It's so tense when everyone's quiet and you're getting ready to flip that disc, and every time you hit it and you explode, you miss and you explode. It's just fun. It's so great. Like I said, if you're tired after a long day of those heavy games, you've been playing Burn Cycle, you've been playing some of the heavier ones that I have coming up here, and just to kind of break that tension and bring you back into yes, I'm at a con. And this is just fun and exciting, and the atmosphere really plays into it. You can play it late at night. You can play it, middle of the day. It's just fun and lighthearted and energetic is what I would think I would call this game, without being dumb or silly. It still it makes you feel like there's more strategy than
It's also when you like get out of your seat too, right?
Oh yeah, completely. Yeah, you have
and
to, because you flick from one side of the table, so whoever's turn it is has to pick their ship and come from there and flick from that one spot.
And that's so nice, because I feel like at a convention when you've been sitting for 10 hours a day, playing a game, to be able to get up and move around and kind of like hang around the table.
And one of my best experiences of this was actually on the cruise ship, when we were at Dice Tower Cruise.
Yeah.
And it was rocking really, really hard that night. And so we're all like half seasick. We're like, I don't know what to play. We're all like high on Dramamine. And so we're like, let's do Flip Ships, and it was just because the ship would go. And so that just added like another layer into it of like, oh my gosh. And in the swell, it's just fun. It's just a big, energetic game.
Yeah, you need to teach me this, because this is one that I want to try.
This is the one that it just fell off my list. This is the last one to come off, because I do love
Really?
this. Is the one dexterity I love this game. Now this is the one you flip with your thumb, right? I know. Space Invaders, I think you hit something.
Yes,
this one you flip.
This is the flipping one. Yeah, yeah, not the catapult kind of thing.
Got it,
you do. Yeah, so you can either flip, with your one finger, or you can, do a thumb. You can do it on the edge of the table, or it comes with a little block that you can do it from too.
It just has that skee ball feel, because you're like, do I go for the mothership, or do I go for the sure enough things,
Yeah.
It's like, this is a good pick.
Yeah, and Jeremiah's saying here in the comments, his 9-year-old loves this. That's what I love about it as well. Like, if you have kids at the con, you can play it with just adults.
Yeah.
You can play it with the kids. It gives them involved, I mean, if you're bringing your 9-year-old, you don't want to sit down and, okay, well, go entertain yourself over there on an iPad where I play this. You can bring the kids into it as well. So, yeah.
It's a great pick.
So, I love it. Number 6, Flip Ships.
All righty. Let's see here. My number 5 is actually a crossover with Wendy Yi.
Oh, we have a
crossover.
I
I can't believe this is our
What were you
first so
quiet?
far.
It is the first crossover.
I'm not surprised. I think we have different, not goals, but like I think we look at convention gaming a little differently. So I'm actually surprised at how much has been like almost on each other's list.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
This game you do not like, so I know it would never be a crossover.
to be fair, I haven't liked most of your games yet.
This is true.
Is
This
it Ready,
true.
Set, Bet?
It
That's
is
the
Ready,
one she
Set,
was
Bet.
most
There
vocal
it
about.
is.
All
It
our
is
games.
Ready,
I
Set,
do
Bet.
not like that one.
This one I was very quiet because, again, like when he said, this one plays with a lot of people. And it's a very good, it's a loud, exciting game that you see from across the room. You're like, okay, this is fun. And why I like this even more now is because before, when you play with Tom, he has this really tricked out wooden version, all this. Then you get home and you buy it, and it comes like an Altoid tin, and you're like, oh, this is great. Yay, racing horses. But now you can get the big version, right?
Which is insane.
So everyone can play that same style of game.
Well,
that
and
he
it's
has.
easier to see.
It is.
Like, it's so hard to see on that tiny board, especially when you're on the opposite side.
That's
to
where
know
I
what's
was,
going on.
because I played at a con, and I bought it, and I went home, and I'm like, oh, look at that. Even there, moving the... There it is. He just moved.
There's
It's
a
like, you can't
itty-bitty.
see. You can't gather around the table because it's that small. So now that everyone can play that big style of game.
Yeah.
So it is very loud,
Oh.
bombastic style of game.
You know how they have those like squirt gun games at carnivals and stuff where they have the horse racing with squirt guns? Wouldn't that be fun if you played this like that? Like everyone was...
That would be
Just like a
fantastic.
squirt
Just
gun
you
game?
had like 7 people that were playing the squirt gun game and then 7 people betting on it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
This is what I
always bet
want.
on those at
This is what I
carnivals.
want.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah,
funny.
that's anyway. So that's Ready Set Bet again, a great con game.
Great,
So-
great con game.
And also, I don't like to run it. I don't think I've ever actually been a person
like
that
to
runs
play it,
I
not
like
run
to
it.
play it and not run it.
You know what? It
In a con,
stresses
I
me
can
when
do
I
that.
run it because I still, for some reason, count in my head pips. And so some people are just like a 4 and a 3. Obviously, that's 7. And I'm like,
yeah.
4, 5, 6, 7. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Just when I'm
Yeah.
on that like real time trying to go fast speed, I like can't do mental math for some reason.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
And
People are
also, you know
watching
that
you.
people are betting on you on your mental math.
Yeah.
You know, nothing's worse than being like, you're like, all right, 6. And they're like, no, 3 plus 3 is 7. You're like, no, it's not. Is it?
And
No,
then
it's
you
not.
have the
No,
other
I was
others
right.
you
Hold on.
add,
Like,
you go twice in a row and all that. It's like it's
Right.
a lot of
I
mental
had
gymnastics.
one time I played a game and a guy was like doing the math, like he was like yelling out the numbers before I had a chance to. I was like, why are you doing the math for me? Like,
Yeah.
go bet on your stuff.
Yeah, if you want to do the math, just come run it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, my number 5, Ready Set Bet.
All right, my number 5 is a game that I have never been the instigator of at a convention, but I'm surprised how I've played it at a lot of our different conventions. I was really surprised. Yeah, I'm never the one that brings it up. And this is Foundations of Rome.
That was my short list. Like, once
yeah.
again, you
This
have you
game-
have all the ones of like, oh, good, someone mentioned it for me. I think it's like the third so far. That I'm like, all right, good.
think
check.
about
I'm
it.
the Milla reject list. Thank you. I feel real good about myself now. But Foundations of Rome, this is a game that I don't personally own. I think it's massive and it's really hard to store in a house. But I am surprised at how many people play this at conventions. And on top of that, how many people play this at conventions but own it and play it all the time? Like I've talked to so many people. I was just on the cruise. There was this guy that had it over his shoulder. He was lugging it to the dining room, so he had to walk it all the way across to the other side of the cruise ship. And he's like, "Oh yeah, we have this at home. This is our warm-up game, and we're gonna come back in like an hour and go get a different game." And I'm like,
Well, the warm up is carrying it around.
"Yeah,
but
right?
Yeah,
It's just
I know.
massive." But people love this game, and somehow I get roped into it almost every convention, and I love it. It reminds me of New York 1904, 1901, which I loved so much. But this is like almost an easier version or just a
I
little
see
bit
that.
like cleaner version. And then it's so cool with all the buildings and it's just, it's fun. It's quick to teach. It's super quick to set up because you pull it out and it's set up. Like,
It's
good to
unassumingly
go.
streamlined in
Yeah.
every aspect, in the setup, in the teardown, in the gameplay.
Yeah.
You know, right.
It's unique in the fact that it has this massive table presence, but it's approachable. And those
Yeah.
are hard to
Yeah.
find.
Yeah. And I think you're right. I mean, this is just one that I don't want to play the tile-based version of it.
Right.
But that's the size that would fit in my collection. So
Yeah.
why not come to a con and play the big, get the whole experience?
Yeah, play the big one.
This is
Yeah.
fun. At Gen Con when this came out, you saw so many kids walking next to their strollers.
Oh,
because
yeah.
This was taking the place of the child
Yeah.
in the stroller.
Yeah.
Those
Like,
poor
you
two,
can walk.
yeah, those poor 2-year-olds got to work out that
That
day.
everyone can't
Yeah.
walk. So
Yeah.
you can walk. Yeah.
You just got to sit on the foundations of it.
It's like,
No, it's too expensive.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It also doesn't sit nicely
No.
in
Yeah,
the stroller.
yeah.
It's a little bit at an angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. That was my number 5. Foundations of Rome.
Nice. My number 5 is a game that next to never hits the table because of the game length. I think that it is well worth the game length and the story, and I think it's engaging the whole time. I like it's very player driven, and like the choices that you make shape the narrative of this story or of this game. But because it's a 4 to 5 hour game every time, I just don't play it often. And this is Waste Night 2nd Edition.
Really?
This
Oh.
is such a neat and clean game system. It's one that even after not playing it for a while, read through the rule book and I feel like I can jump right back in. So it's not
Really?
very rules heavy. And especially not rules heavy compared to the amount of gameplay and experience and just epic kind of moments that come from it. So it kind of has a choose your own adventure feel in a way, because this is an open world. You can go anywhere on here and you have the different objectives you're trying to do. It's dice rolling, so a little bit of swinginess. You're also building up your character, so it has a little bit of not really RPG kind of feel, but you are getting different, you're beefing up your character, and your objective is changing as it goes. So it's always well worth the entire experience. I just don't often sit down to a 4 to 5 hour narrative game because it is a one play session. It's not like a Sleeping Gods, which was also on my short list. If I wanted to dedicate a whole day to one, I want to play it all in one thing. It's not like that where it's like you can stop at any time. You play through the whole thing and it'll say, hey, this is a 3-hour scenario, and 5 hours later you were like, that was a lie. So you really have to go into it knowing it's going
Gonna be long.
It's
Eat
gonna be
dinner
long.
before you play.
right. But it is always worth it. Just not at my house, maybe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to play it on a Friday night and be up till 3 a.m.
Right.
Right.
So I think a convention, when you don't have that time pressure to play, this always brings the experience that I want.
Yeah.
So that's my number 5 is Waste Nights, which I don't think either of you guys have
I have
played,
not
right?
played.
No, I've not played.
Oh, so good. Waste Nights 2nd edition. That's quite jaunty.
Oh,
today.
right.
You.
That's a you.
It's a me.
Number 4.
Number 4. It's crazy. This is yet another crossover
With Wendy?
Oh.
with Wendy.
Oh,
I
no.
know.
We're going to have the same list now.
This is surprising when you put this on your list. I'm like, wow.
Is it a card game?
It is not.
That doesn't
You
feel like a
kinda
card game?
lit off with it. It would have been on your list, but you said no.
Hate
to put
it?
this on your list.
Okay.
No, because this is the first one you thought of. But you
Oh, because I haven't played it.
Yes.
Captain Sonar,
Captain
of course.
Sonar.
Yeah, I
Okay.
haven't played it.
Sonar.
Yeah.
This one, there are so many reasons.
You were surprised I would like this, or surprised?
Yeah, surprised you would like it as
Okay.
much as you did. Yeah, because this is one that
Well, it was
actually
10, to be fair.
I like. Yeah,
It was 10. It was the first one I thought of, but it was number 10.
This one, okay, this one left my personal collection because I now know I will only play it at cons,
Yeah.
which is hard for me because, first of all, having 8 people, it plays best at 8. It plays at 6, but
Yeah.
really you do need 8
Yeah.
to get that full experience. And then on top of that, you need gamers. I have in my circle, I have I have people that like games,
Yeah.
and I have gamers. Playing this with 8 gamers is a blast, because other people want to choose their role by the title. It's like, I want to be the radio operator. It's like, you probably shouldn't. It's like, so this right here at a con, it's one of those games when you walk by and you see people playing and you're like, I wish I was in that group.
Yeah.
It's a fun experience, because it is living battleship.
Is it fun to watch?
It is. It
You
is.
think
It's-
so? Okay.
Probably it's more fun to play. I think it's not those that look as exciting. I guess you watch the entire thing because you'll get lost.
Okay.
Because there's so much going on. Until
There's
that
because
pause
both.
moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's just like. Yeah.
I mean, it's chaos, but it has that. Man, it's so good, and it surprises. There's a turn-based. I've never played the turn-based one.
I have played the turn-based one. It's still good. It's just not great.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The real time of this makes it just boom. It just gives that exhilarating anxiety.
Yeah.
So anyway, this was one that it is only at a con for me.
Have you played all the different maps? Because I know our copy has like crazy amounts of maps
No,
to it. And I've
I have
only ever
not.
played the basic.
No,
Yeah.
because
Okay.
usually you have newer gamers. You don't want to jump into that. But yeah, I'd like to. This is one I want to dive into more.
But also, if you're only playing it once a year at a con,
That's
twice
it.
a year at a con, let's
Right.
go crazy and say 3 times a year, 3 different cons, then do
It's
you need
also
the extra maps?
One of those things that, again, you have to kind of have a refresher if you play it
Yeah.
once every 6 months.
Yes.
But there's
Yeah.
always that 1 or 2 people that have played it a lot.
That's my biggest hurdle is I haven't played this in years. But I love seeing it at conventions, and I keep being in that moment where I was like, if someone else set it up, I would 100% jump in, which is
Right.
why it's on my list. Because, yeah, I personally don't remember the rules, so I can't
Yes.
Yeah,
instigate
okay.
it, but
Yeah.
I would really enjoy.
This is also one
Hopping
downside
in.
is this has to be at a con I don't have any responsibility at.
That's hard,
Because you have to focus
You
on
can't
this.
jump out, yeah.
You can't
Yeah.
look away for a moment.
Yeah.
You also can't have kids.
You can't hold a baby while you're
Like,
playing.
oh,
You
yeah.
know? It's
Yeah,
like, so this is
No.
It's Captain Sonar. This is a great con game.
Good pick.
That's a good number 4.
You even agreed with that. See?
No, like I said, it's a shoe-in, absolutely. I just haven't played it, and that would be cheating.
There
And
you
I'm
go.
not a cheater. I'm a winner.
You're not a cheater with this. All right, so my number 4, I wonder if this is going to be a crossover with either one of you. I don't know if you like this one, but I feel like you might, Joey. And that is Ito. So we'll see.
No,
we'll see.
no,
Maybe.
but
Not
this
a
one.
crossover.
Yeah.
No?
I did not think of this one.
Okay, this one
This is a good one, yeah.
This has been my most recent go-to party game that I've just played. And I love this at a convention especially because you can literally pop in and hop out all the time. So what you're doing in a round is people are given cards somewhere between 0 and 100, and then there is a theme or a topic. And you have to play your card secretly, but then basically give a word or a phrase or something that goes with that topic. So if the topic is like ice cream flavors, worst 0, best 100, and you're like, well, nobody likes Rocky Road. Actually, I really do like Rocky Road, but you could be like, okay, Rocky Road.
Everyone loves Rocky Road.
And people are trying to guess what your number is based on Rocky Road or based on pickled flavor ice cream. I assume that's going to be like a 2, right? Yeah. And so you're trying to organize and work cooperatively together. But once that round is over, like you can literally hop people in and out because every round is separate. They're not connected. Mm-hmm. And so this one I love to teach. I love to start it going. I'll do a couple rounds and then I'll exit. And then I just watch the table grow with more and more people. And I'm like, oh, I did that. I taught those people that game. I don't know. For some reason, it just makes me happy to see people get excited about it and learn it. And then it just kind of takes care of itself.
Yeah, this is definitely one that's getting a lot of love, Yeah.
And the Arcane Wonders reprint with the cards is really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one I haven't played, mostly because it's a party game. It's not one that I gravitate to.
That's fair.
And as games come through here, we tend to just play the ones we gravitate to.
Yeah.
This one I'm like, I'm good to sit that one out unless you need another person.
I would like to play with you because it's a ranking system, and I'm pretty sure you rank things very differently.
I do. And then I don't see, and then it's so stressful because then I'm like,
so
okay,
bizarre.
do I rank this on what like group think because that's what we're trying to do, or do I like be true to myself and rank them? But also I
Never
tend
be
to
true
have
to
like
yourself.
very obscure connections, like with
Yes.
like Dixit or something. I'm like, oh, we just played one, right? And I was like, no, I'm not the liar. That's just how my mind
Detective
thinks.
Club or whatever
Yes,
it was.
Detective Club.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like,
Oh.
no, I'm not the liar. I picked these two for these specific reasons.
You both are impossible to read.
Right.
So bad. It's just guessing at that point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
so yeah, this one. I
This is a good one. I would
appreciate this one. Yeah.
Yes, you would appreciate this one.
I enjoy the
appreciate-
discussion that also comes from this because people have
Exactly.
just different views of how they rank things.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I love that when you have that reveal at the end and people are like, are you serious? Like you ranked that?
Yes.
Like,
I
like-
am the one person under
Yeah.
50 who loves butter pecan ice cream. Okay, there it is. It's 100.
So my friend has a way that they play this with their like little 5 or 6 year old. They always give him the 100 card. Mm-hmm. And so he just sits there and tries to think of the best thing he could possibly think of.
Oh,
And
that's
everyone knows he
cute.
has
Yeah,
100,
yeah.
but he plays it and he's like, I always win. Because he played the 100. He played the best thing. He came up with the best
Is
option.
it ever-
I don't know about.
Is it ever butter
Let them
pecan
win.
ice cream?
Yes.
That's never butter pecan. That's never 100.
I
Oh.
actually like butter pecan. It's not my favorite.
Praline is
but I
better
like
because
it.
butter pecan they get a little soggy. But
Yeah,
the
but
pralines are better
it's
because
crunchy.
it has a better texture. So if you can find like buttered praline,
Why is butter pecan always like the sugar-free
Thank
one?
you.
That's what I always wonder.
I think because it's just it's pecans
You know,
and it's butter and you can do unsalted butter. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's an easy one to be flavored
gross.
without.
I'm only going ice cream with Z. That is it. You two are
rum
not
raisin. You're gonna go get some rum raisin with Z.
He's a chocolate person. You like rum raisin?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I'm going by myself now. That's gross. You guys are weird.
Oh, I've never had rum raisin. It doesn't sound good.
I'm good with the rum, just not the raisin. I'm like the
Hold the
raisin.
raisin.
Yeah, hold the raisin.
Yeah, what's a frozen raisin like? Ugh. Gross.
All right.
All right.
My number 4 is my pick for a quirky game that admittedly has issues, but it is, first of all, it's a card game with a
What?
little player board, but it's like a player card, like not cardboard, like card stock though, so it doesn't really count.
Vegetable stock.
Oh no. Oh,
That doesn't
dear.
have
Oh,
issues.
gosh, no.
Had the word stock in it.
Oh, no, it's I know it's quirky, but it's a theme that is just well, I would say very endearing, but I feel like some people are very put off by it. So you got to know your audience when you bring this game out. This is Deadly Dowagers.
Endearing? You're killing.
It's charming because it's so unique. I mean, you are playing as this dowager who's trying to kill off husbands and marry up in society to eventually marry the Duke. First person to marry the Duke wins. So you're trying to make these connections, and you're playing out your estates, and you're building it up, and then you're killing off your husband and cashing in on his estate, and then trying to get your reputation back in order so you can marry up. So you're just climbing the social ladder here.
It's a horrible game.
I was like, I'm down for the theme.
It's so cool.
I'm down for the theme. I just wonder how is this your con game?
I think it's a con game because of that. It's a small little indie game that there's not much of. It's very unique in the theme. It's drafting. It's very approachable. It plays better at higher player counts. It can go up to 6. And so it's light. You can teach the rules in one round. And honestly, you can play that first round as you're teaching the rules. And so it's quick to get to the play. It's simple drafting, but it's also tense because it is that, closed drafting. And then you have the reveal, the tension of it's at the end of the day, it's a race game. You're doing all this to be the first person to marry the Duke, and so just the simplicity of a drafting with the racing elements. Oh my gosh, it is just a quirky theme that instantly you describe it to somebody and you know if they're in or not.
Yeah,
I
think so.
And you can even. I feel like this is one.
Do you like other games like?
Yeah. What about Terror Escape, huh?
Yeah.
We don't.
Now get off your high horse, sir.
What about Bloody Inn? Are you okay
kill
with
more
that?
than just the
what about
husband.
Camp Grizzly, huh?
You kill more than just it's equal
Oh, so
opportunity
because
killing.
it's man. Oh,
Kill everyone.
Oh, you can't kill the men.
You just want to eat butter pecan ice cream and play this game.
Look, if
Yeah.
you're the Duke,
That's a
you're
dream
not going to
date.
be killed.
Yeah. So
Maybe-
get rich.
That's true. Wow. That should be the name of this game. Get rich. And you'll survive.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
It is just, again, so you say why a con, the mechanisms
Henrietta
are
the Eighth.
are super approachable, and the theme is unique, and it's a small little indie one that I bought this game specifically to take to Dice Tower West because I was like, this will be the game that I travel with. It's small. It can go in my backpack. It's probably not going to be in any library, and it's just, but I want that group of 6 to play it with, So yeah. So that is my number 4, Deadly Dowagers.
Unique.
Try it out.
Okay, so my top 3 are pretty much all ones that were my initial, I thought of these. This is one I play every con again.
Okay.
But it's one of those that I don't get tired of playing it because there's variability with that. Ours in the library is upgraded. Mine at home is upgraded. But for this one, if I'm playing with new people, I want some variety too. I'll just throw in new spells in there.
Spell. Oh, this is Wandering Towers.
It is Wandering
Oh,
Towers.
that's why I didn't know.
This one
You
is so
love
fun.
this
We even have the
game.
map for it here.
You play
And-
this so much.
You love it.
I really
And
do.
we know when you're playing it because there's just like incessant giggling.
And I am so bad at remembering, and my confidence
Yes.
level is high, but my skill is low. So
That
it's
is the
like
best.
I will
I
intentionally,
love it.
I will like make a mental note. I'm like, I know my wizard's there, so good. I will wait for him, bring him out at the last, and then at the end, that surprise, you're like,
There's
where'd
nobody
it go?
there.
It's like every moment is an epic moment with Joey. He's like, what?
It's like I'm as surprised as everyone else because I'm like, and I almost feel bad. There's been moments where I teach people I don't want to win right away, right? So I'm like, I'm gonna wait till the end, make it close. Now I'm gonna win. I'm gonna bring my wizard out. I'm like, oof, he's gone. And I'm like, I have no idea.
I love you holding back. It's like I'm not gonna try too hard. I'm gonna slow ball it for them.
Then I
and you get
realized-
got every time.
every
So
time.
really, you should just try.
I should because it's just I don't know what it is. It is. I mean, it's a cups and balls thing, and I lose it. Which I can do the cups and balls, but I cannot do wizards and towers. It's really I don't know why I will lose my guy so much in this, and it is such a fun game. I mean, do you not like it?
I've not played it.
Oh,
I'm Luke about it. Like I'm lukewarm on it.
Really?
Yeah. Like
you've been going down. You used to like it more.
I like it, but I don't love it. I don't know. I
I
get frustrated
love
with
it
it. I
enough
always
for you.
get
It
I always
does.
get the same cards, and then I have like 4 of the same cards and no choices.
No, you need to play different.
That's great. From wandering to wandering.
That is true.
Yeah, that's true.
That is true. This one right here is the spells on it. there are spells that do so many different fun things. I love
That's what makes it. Yeah.
the piggyback, where it's like you have the potions, and if somebody leaves, you're like, you're taking me with you.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's really good.
Or you can just appear out from underneath the towers, and you're like, ha ha ha.
Oh, yeah.
I jumped on top.
I think it's the memory element that has me scared off of this game, you know, and so it's one of those I think I'll appreciate it more by not playing it.
If I cared more about winning, it would scare me off.
Okay.
It's weird to say, but it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's great when your confidence level is high and your memory is low.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, that's my number 3, Wandering Towers.
That's a good number 3. All right, my number 3 is one of my most favorite ones to teach at conventions, and this is Stay Cool.
This is a good one too.
Oh, I didn't think of this. Good
Yeah.
pick.
Oh.
Oh, well done.
So
well done.
I love having like people that I play with, and then I'm like, hey, do you guys want to play a party game? And they're like, okay. And I'm like, yeah, let's play Stay Cool. I pull it out, and if people have no idea what this is, I like pull it out, I explain it, and I love that look of like fear and just glazed over eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die.
I would never play this with somebody. I would always give them the chance to jump out after I explain it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like
Always.
this could be like
Yes.
absolute anxiety inducing for some people.
Yes. I just, for some
Really
reason,
is.
I get a kick out of like watching people go, oh my gosh. And then, of course, I'm never going to play this with someone who genuinely doesn't want to play. I'm like, just watch. It's fun to watch.
Right.
If, you know, the other person you're playing with wants to just play. But I love the moment where you're like, okay, you're going to be asked questions by 2 people at the same time. You have to answer one verbally. You have to answer the other one by moving these little letter dice around. And you just see people go like, oh my gosh, I don't think I can handle this. And it's great to watch them play, like people that are still willing to play, watch them play, and then they're like, that wasn't as bad as I thought. And you're like, cool. Next round's even harder.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so like
Or-
you just progressively teach how the rounds get worse and worse. And I don't know, it makes me so happy inside.
For me, it's the flip side where you have people say, it's easy, why don't you just do it? And then it's their turn, and they're like, this is impossible. You know?
My favorite moment of this game was in the live play that Mike put the link there for. It was they were asking Z a question, and it was like, what color is the person's hair of the person to your right? And it was me, and he was like, black. And just kept going. It was like he was hyper fixated on that, but he kept saying wrong. So he was like getting frustrated, and I feel bad because he's like clearly getting frustrated. He's like, black, 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 and then
Did you hear
afterward,
about black?
No, it's brown. What?
Okay. Yeah. I
Okay.
know.
Anyway.
What color is your hair, Joey? It's the same color.
Right. Yeah. Here, Joey.
Okay.
What color is your hair?
Fine, it's brown.
Okay.
Brown.
Anyway,
Your hair might be darker than
those
hers.
moments.
Okay.
No,
Anyway,
yeah,
those moments are just fun.
I
Yeah.
love this one
Yeah.
so much.
Nice. All right, my number 3 is another one that I think is worth it for the full player count. It's hard to get the full player count, and also it's worth the full experience, which is going to be a long game. It's going to take a while to get through. This is going to be Forgotten Waters. This is my stand-in for also freelancers, which I know other people here in the office. I haven't played that one. Thematically, I'm much more drawn to this one. I think visually, I should say, not thematically. Visually, I'm much more drawn to this. This game has a stop point in the middle where it's like, hey, you can pack up now if you want. I never want to. I want that whole experience, which is going to take 3 hours, maybe 4 hours. The app assistance in this is fantastic. You get 6 players, and you're not having to play with any dummy players. It's really, it's a 5 to 6 player game. You have to have a dummy character in there if you play less.
Yeah.
I don't want that. So this is a con game
She
for
wants
me.
no dummies.
Because I can sit down without that time constraint. I can get the full experience at the full player count and really just watch the story unfold and shine. Watch the experience shine in this environment in a con. So
That's cool. I find it hard to focus on these style games at a con. I think it'd be perfect if I could focus.
this is
Yeah.
more.
Is it the length of it, or is it just?
Just me.
It's just
it's,
you.
it's Joey as a focuser.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah, shiny
Yeah.
objects all
What was it
around.
talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah. He's like, whoo, 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 whoo. Yeah. So I really think that this is perfect for a
How-
con because you can check all those boxes.
How do you feel about the reading and stuff with all the noise in the con? Like, is this one you have to go into one of those like smaller rooms, or?
Either a smaller room or even playing on the outskirts. I don't
Yeah.
find, I feel like the atmosphere doesn't necessarily hurt it. I just wouldn't go to the very center of the room
Yeah.
kind of thing, you know, but like on a table on the outside or in the back, even like the back of a room, one of the circle ones that are typically, you know, for the bigger groups.
Yeah.
Or, I don't find it to be a problem.
Because I know I thought about putting Where Words on my list, but because you have to listen to it on a phone, like
Okay,
it just
yeah.
is hard. Like I'll still play at cons,
Yeah.
but just a little harder to hear, a little harder to be.
yeah, I agree.
invested.
Yeah. That's
But
my number
no, that's
3.
still a good one.
Forgotten Waters.
All right. Now,
All right.
all right.
Now.
My number 2, this is funny.
hard.
My number 2 and 1 were my initials. Okay, I know this is 1 and this is 2. These have never moved.
Ooh.
Oh, really?
This is like,
Okay.
these are it. And
Okay.
my number 2, it's one of those, I remember walking through Gen Con, this is like been 8 or 9 years ago, seeing people twice. I saw people in the hallway playing this game, sprawling game on the floor. And it was one of the moments I thought, I want to be in that group.
You're
Each
like,
time I'm
"Aw,
like, oh,
wish I
I
had
never get a chance to
friends."
play this.
God, it's
And
sprawling.
It's a big, they had the big mat out there and they're playing this, and this is Firefly. Firefly.
Oh,
To
wow.
play this
Huh.
game,
Wow.
to have that immersion, to be able to get that big mat out, get people that are like, I have nothing else to do but play this game right now.
Wow.
It is a pick up and deliver. You are living through the whatever one season of Firefly. It's just you are just
Epic.
playing that epic game, and you just have the expansions out there. Like you, it's like when you have nothing else to do that day.
Yes.
It's like this is what my focus is.
Right.
You know, so this right here, it doesn't get played. I wish I played this at every con, and I don't. I love to jump into this because it's such a big game. It's hard to bring out at your house because of time, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
It's hard to get the time to play this or the people that want to play this.
Or not feel like you have to take a break to go cook dinner or to go you know what I mean?
Right.
Like to be able to focus and be like, I literally have
Yeah.
nothing to do but play games. I choose this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is one of those, like people mentioned Outer Rim, very similar or whatever. I mean, this is their war room, whatever. Everyone has that one game. It's like, I will spend the time this needs.
Yeah.
And for me, that's the game for me. It's like, okay, I'm going to play Firefly.
Yeah.
You know, this just gets me happy and wanting to be a part of that, you know, to play this fully.
People
And
played this on the floor, though?
yes, which is crazy. First of all,
That's
if I
super
get down for
crazy.
8 hours, I'm not getting back up. You know, so it's like.
All right, so you don't sleep for 8 hours.
But they're
All
just
right.
right there in the hallway at Gen Con. And I'm like, that's commitment.
That's
They had the big verse
intense.
map. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's
Just shows the
fantastic.
excitement behind the game too.
So when
That's great.
Chris and I
Yeah.
owned this, we didn't have a big table that would fit it. So we had a card table on one side, and we had our like giant, almost card table sized coffee table. And so we had like all the money and all the card decks over here. And so I felt like in a captain's chair because you'd like slide between one table to another table from one
Yes.
table. They were just kind of
Oh,
like
okay.
angled in the middle. And so we both sat across from each other and we're just like, we're playing Firefly.
And you like this game, right?
I did back then. I haven't played it in a very long time. And I do wonder if I would still like it.
First of all, if anything's changed, it's you. The game hasn't changed. It's still a great
That
game.
is true.
Huh?
Oh, that's
I mean,
wow.
it's
That was
still
a-
an
Two sets of
old
footprints in the
game.
sand. Here we go. Yeah. So anyway,
That's a dumb reference. I love it.
nobody gets that reference. All right. So
Oh my
that is my number 2.
All
is
right.
Firefly.
Well, on that note, my number 2,
Oh, I love your dumbness.
my number
sorry.
2 it represents a category of games that could have been my whole entire list, and so I just picked one. And it's that idea of playing those big epic games that take 3, 4, 5 hours that are just intense. You know, I want to pull out. Do I want to pull out a Lacerda? Do I want to pull out one of my favorite games of all time? You know, whatever. So I picked Brass Birmingham because this one I actually do play at most conventions. And if not at most conventions, for sure, once or twice a year. You know what I mean? Like, I pull this out all the time. It's my favorite game of all time. But also Feast for Odin, Boone Lake, Kanban. You know what I mean? Like, there's just so many other big games, CO2, that I would pull out and I would just want to sit down and crunch and play for 3 or 4 hours. And so I couldn't make it my whole list. So this is my number 2 is Brass because it just represents all of those big, heavy games.
It is so funny. This is the one that would be my number 1 actively avoided. There have been several times.
busy.
I know I need to play this. And I mentioned to several people, I'll play that with you at X, like the Bash the last
Yeah,
time.
yeah, I'll play it at
And one guy
Bash.
was like, when are we playing Brass? I'm like,
I gotta go cook dinner.
Have you
You're at a
played
con.
it?
You're like, still gotta cook
You
dinner.
just never
Sorry.
played it.
I've never played it. So
Oh,
it's like,
your wife would love it.
I know. She would definitely love it.
That's why he hasn't played. He doesn't want her to.
Right?
Exactly.
Right?
We're going to play Brass all the time. It's like, yeah, I need to play it eventually.
Oh, it's so good, Joey. I played
know.
Western Legends on your behalf.
You did, and you liked it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I need to
Which
play
should
Western
have been on
Legends.
this list. By
That's
the
what a
way.
lot of people were saying when I was doing Waste Nights.
didn't
They were
really like
"Ah,
Western Legends that
Western
much."
Legends. What?
Did you not?
I haven't played it. No, I'm saying when I was talking about Waste Nights, a lot of people were talking about Western Legends, like, oh, same, theology behind it, or reason to play it, but substitute Western Legends. So
Oh, you should have led with that. I'll play Waste Nights now if it's Western Legends somewhere.
Is it Sleeping Gods meets Western Legends?
No, you guys missed the point. The point was what I was saying. The reason Waste Knights made the list is the reasoning they used, but they used the game Western Legends with that same reasoning. So, yeah. All right, my number 2.
Fine.
We're done. We're done. We're done talking about brass.
Eventually, I will play brass. It's one of those that now has to be played.
Michael Hansen said that he played Lancashire over this. No. Birmingham is
I've actually heard that more and more recently. Yeah, I don't know if it's
people are just being
shots fired.
Yeah.
There's a reason why Birmingham's number 1. Okay.
My number 2 is the first one that I thought of as well that I had played, because the first one I thought of was Captain Sonar, but I haven't played it. My second one I thought of that I did play was Project Elite.
Project Elite.
Project Elite. Gosh, you're on fire today. You're so smart.
Yes.
So no one ever.
Joey, you're so smart.
Thank you.
I say with all sincerity.
Well, somebody has said it. No, I think Project Elite is similar to Flip Ships, in just that raucous fun, to steal Wendy's word. I love that it's a very careful balance of real time and once again kind of strategy. But then when you think you have strategy, how it completely falls apart during the real time. But then after the real time, you come back, you're like, okay, let's regroup and try again. Because the real time element of this is in 2 minutes. So you do 2 minutes of real time, and then you go back to your strategy, clean up, et cetera, et cetera. I think this is also one that plays with a larger group. I think it plays good at all player counts. I played it at 2 through 6, and I think all of them are good. I really think it shines with that chaotic cooperation, being very tactical, having to adjust as the aliens are invading and that kind of stuff at anywhere from 4 to 6. Mm-hmm. And that's what makes it a great convention game, as well as it's just attention breaking, which is odd because it is real time and has that like tension, that comes up, that builds up. But because of the cycle through the rounds of this game, you walk away tired, but also like, just in a good mood. Right. Like Flip Ships, where you're just having fun. You're just laughing. This game always has laughs. It always has big epic moments. It always, has those wire moments where you're like, this is not at all possible, or someone can't get the movement that they need to complete their objective. So in that 2-minute timer, you're like, my objective went well. You're like, I'm dying over here. It's like, I'm coming to save you. And you're running over there. It's just epic, and fun. And I just walk away smiling with every single play.
I imagine with this that having the 4 to 6 players, you're more likely to be able to help each other, right?
Yes, yeah.
Than in a 2-player,
yeah.
This one that just makes me sad because I've been trying to get this forever, and I'm almost given up. Get everything for it. I love this game. So this is going to be just a con game, apparently.
Yeah.
It's so hard to track down everything. I agree.
Is.
This is one that, again, it's that excitement, that adrenaline rush. It's such a fun game. I don't think it has an equal as far as the real-time games.
It doesn't, and it's real-time, like I said, because it's 2 minutes of real-time. I think if you don't like real-time, it's probably still worth trying. You might not like it. I'm not saying this is the real-time game for if you don't like real-time. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it's still worth a try because it has enough of those, like, calming moments. Yeah, and you were talking about you like when people stand up to play Ready, Set, Bet. This is one that you don't have to tell people to. It's going to happen.
It just happens.
As that 2 minutes gets going and everyone stands up, and then afterward it's amazing because they're all like, oh, I didn't realize I was standing. Whew. Okay, so it's like tension build and break. Tension build and break.
It's so good because it has that planning phase, and then things will go south.
Very quick.
Really, and it balances dungeon crawl in real time. Yeah, this is a great pick.
Yeah, and Bruce here says he's ready for the firefighter version. I think that is a fantastic theme re-implementation of this. I'm excited about it as well. Cool. But I mean, aliens have my heart, so I'm all about Project. Project Elite, my number 2.
Now we are finally to number 1.
This is the last one, Joey.
This is the last one.
How number 1
This
works.
is the game that you commit to play for every single convention from now until death.
And I will do it.
Every day at Dice Tower West.
Probably not
at
every day.
noon.
The anxiety would kill me.
Oh, anxiety. Is it Project Elite?
It is not. Now, if I would have thought of that, I would have put it on the list.
If you were only smarter.
But would it have been number 1?
What's that?
Would it have been number 1?
This one has never wavered from number 1. This is the one that I play
it gives you
every
anxiety.
con. And it's
Every convention.
man, I played it again on the cruise. I played it at East, and people walk up and say, are we going to play this? Because I've talked about it so much.
Do you have anxiety
This one
over?
is Escape from Aliens in Outer Space.
Oh, okay.
I love this game.
This is that really crappy game, right?
It is this really glorious game.
Oh my gosh. No, I mean
is-
that's everyone says like crappy and broken and not. Is that?
No, that's not that one.
Oh.
This one looks like it's a you've got a pad out. You're humans and aliens, and humans are trying to get to the escape pod. Aliens are trying to catch the humans. So everything's
yeah,
quiet, and you're moving, and you hear movement in certain places. So you're chasing people. What's great is you don't know who is a human, who is an alien. So many times, an alien will be like, "I'm attacking in C-17," and you're like, "You've killed me, but I was an alien too. Are you kidding me?" He's like, "I didn't know that," and it's just
So there's no open your eyes and look at each other moment. So it's
so many moments in this. This game is unbelievably fun because, I mean, for me, conventions and games themselves, but conventions more so, are made up of moments.
Yes,
And there are so many
agreed.
moments that this creates, and you'll see people 2 years later like, "No, I remember when you killed me." I'm like, "Yeah, twice." I'm like, "Yeah, I did kill you twice." So it's just, it's such a great game and so many maps. You get the same people. We're going to run through this map. It can be a shorter game. There are shorter maps. It can be a longer game. I love this game. So it's...
I am very uninspired by the look of it, but the way you talk about it makes me think
This
that
is
I should
such
try
a
it.
Camilla game.
it does look like a print and play.
It does, and they
Yeah.
haven't. You know what? Part of it's like maybe they should re-release it, but what would they do? They dance it up a bit, but the mechanics are great the way.
But it
is.
also looks very visually clear, and I do appreciate
It
that.
is.
You
It
know,
is.
if it's going to be a battleship kind of thing,
Yep.
then it needs clarity. Yeah.
And usually last night, this is what I played.
How is this compared to This Game is Killer?
Well, this game's killer sucks.
This game, this game is killer.
So-
What's on my short list?
Well,
It is-
because I was wondering if that was going to be on your list, and I was surprised it wasn't.
It was, and it fell off, and the reason is because it has missed before. Certain things can happen in the game that make it kind of a dud.
It just like ends
You're
early,
like,
or it just yeah.
anticlimactic. This does not have that problem.
Okay, interesting.
When this game is killer hits, it hits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it can also miss.
I think
Yeah,
that's the thing. I've
okay.
only had misses with it.
Right,
You know,
right.
and so maybe, which could be my bad luck or.
No, my first couple times I'd never had a miss, and then I had one. I'm like, that was unfortunate.
Like, oh, I
You
understand
know,
her
it's
better.
like, okay, now you understand why people don't like it
Yeah.
because it had this. But this right here, it normally hits. It's not for everyone, but it is one of those anxiety-driven games. It's really good. So yeah,
All right.
All right. Well, my number one is another party game because honestly, I spend the majority of my conventions playing late night games, and they're just party games. So this is the one that I think is just my absolute favorite, and this is So Clover.
wow, the fact that you play this late at night blows
I
my mind.
love this late at night. Okay, so what's great about it is that, you know, there's like, 6 or 7 clovers that you hand out. People sit down, and everyone kind of takes some moments to think, but everyone's still kind of chatting. And so it's that like chill hangout time. You kind of reconnect. Some people are finishing up their games, and you start playing, and you actually like, you know, you try to figure out the clovers. You try to put all the words in the right places, and you're cooperatively working together, and you're hearing all this team talk. And, you know, someone comes over and they just start like looking over the table, and they start talking, and they start sharing their opinions. Someone else walks up, you finish that clover, and you're like, hey, do you want to do one? And so they start writing, you know what I mean? They walk up, they start writing. Oh, I'm really tired. I'm going to go off to bed. You know, I finished mine. And so I really love just how it's so organic, how people come and go and they participate. And you've got those people that are like, I really should go to bed, but I'm not ready to yet. I want to be social for 5 more minutes. I want to be social for 30 more minutes. You know what I mean? And I love how this just has that group feel, and it's just so welcoming to everybody around. And you can start playing it with like 2 people, and then you can progress from there. You know,
Yeah.
it's such a good game. So it's my favorite, and I always pull it out at a convention.
Well, for the sake of comment collaboration, it's also my number one.
What?
So just like get right to it here, because I agree. But what I like is I feel like this game breaks a lot of barriers. And by that, I mean, if you don't really like word games, I'm one. This is okay. If you don't really like cooperation or cooperative games, I feel like this kind of softens that blow as you're not arguing, you know, but you're trying to reason together so it feels more conversational. And I think there are times in the game that the game has just stopped and you have just had a conversation about something. And if you feel like you think very differently than everyone else at the table, you know, and no one understands why you made, then it breaks that down because there's so many different connections for that they'll whittle down the options. It's like these 2 words, I have no idea what they're going for here. Let's focus on these other 3. And then they come down, oh, wait, now they kind of learn your personality as they're choosing the connections,
Yeah.
right? Because they're like,
Yeah.
okay, well, now I'm starting to think she thinks very left field, or oh, she is very literal, very figurative, something like that. So I think that it really helps you learn the group, but you don't have to know the group in order to play this game. But if you know them, it will enhance it, but it not necessarily make it better. If that makes sense, you know? So it just kind of breaks down a lot of these things where it's like, you got to have a lot of people. No, you can't. You have to like word games. No, you have to like cooperative. No, you have to know each other. No, like it's just approachable from so many different angles. And so I think it's great.
I love when you have those moments where someone in the group says, like, they just say something that you're like, that's the exact connection that I made.
Yeah.
And they just kind of like dismiss it. And you're like, no, I love you because you and I, like, our brains work the same.
Or the opposite of that, where you're just like, oh, I didn't think about that.
Oh, I hate
Whoops.
those moments.
I
You're
didn't see there was 2 out there or 4 out there that could be red.
Or
the
other one that comes
Whatever.
out is perfect. The 5th one
Yeah,
that comes
yeah,
out.
yeah.
I
That
hate
just
that.
kills you. You're like, that wasn't an option. Yes,
Yeah,
I
it's
would.
like, yeah,
but I
you're
also
right, but-
love that when you're like
Yeah.
genuinely stumped and the group is I love that so much.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, this is like an instant.
This is a good one.
It is going to be played at every con. It's a party game. Again, speaking of barriers, I don't like party games. This is a party game that is top of the list. It's not just a party game I'll play. It's a party game I love.
Yep.
That's
So, yeah.
awesome.
Anyway, that's my number
good.
1.
Yes, and that was. If you guys have any other ones you like at cons, make sure you comment about them
Yes,
below.
please.
Let us know because I always look for stuff to play at cons.
Yeah.
And we did just find out our pledge manager is open now.
Yes, the Pledge Manager on our Game Found campaign this year. If you like this content and any of the stuff we do, come back us and get some goodies in the process. So that's supportdicetower.com is
Yes.
where you can find
Like Green
that.
Team Wins promos?
So no,
Not
we
this
don't do. Yeah, we didn't have that one this year, but you can
Okay.
get that at our cons. Yeah, yeah, you still get the plenty of promo packs, plenty of that kind of stuff. Supportdicetower.com. You can definitely find it there. And same thing, if you like the top 10 list, our Patreon, we have that as well. We're gonna be recording here in a minute a couple
We are.
ones that almost made it, and
And I did see some of the comments, and I'm like, that was on my short list.
if you're wondering what we were writing down, it's for the video
It's like,
after.
oh, I forgot. I'd see
Yeah.
one in the comments be like,
Yeah.
should have put that in there.
Yep.
There's
Yep.
so many that you're gonna just forget.
Yep, got my list here to go over onto Patreon.
Yep.
and
So
let
make sure
them
you
know.
comment on
Check it
yours
out.
because I was looking for good con games. But anyway, we have another live today. We are live with the 4 Coins D&D.
Yeah.
D&D inspired RPG, right?
Okay.
At 2:00.
Yeah.
It's homebrew stuff.
Okay.
So yeah,
All
that's
right.
at 2:00.
excited.
So grab something to eat, come back, and see us here at 2.
That's an order.
Yes.
We'll see you then.
So thank you. I'm Joy Evans.
I'm Wendy Yi.
And I'm Camilla.
And those were convention games.
We'll see you there.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another video from the Dice Tower. Hey, you want to learn more about us, communicate with us? We have a Facebook group, we have a Discord channel, lots of different ways to get involved with the Dice Tower. You can find that in our Linktree link below. So just click that, it will take you and you can communicate with us on Facebook, join our Facebook groups. There's lots of cool things that you can find and become part of the Dice Tower. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vassell.